Okay, here we are today. We're going to tie a good buddy of mine. I'm here with Mike and from the Gold Rush chapter, and but a buddy of ours, Big T, from Big T Fly Fishing, ties a McDaddy, which is basically a CDC Caddis. Now I've got a number 14 Big T barbless wide gap dry hook. Say that 10 times real fast, Mike. And here, and so I've already gotten some black 70 denier working on this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, a little different than T's fly, is I'm going to put some New Zealand strike indicator as the body on this. And the CDC will float really well, but you add this, if I can get it started here. You add this, and man, you got a great fly, especially one that you can drop off of real easy. It'll hold a good heavy dropper if you need to. You're trying to get the fly down. Again, we're just going to work this around just to try to clean it up a little bit and get these extra fibers that are not cooperating too well. Smooth that out some. See if we can rotate that up on top a little bit. It'll move, and then I'm just going to come back and put a nice butt on that. That's a good looking butt.
It is.
That is a great looking butt. I mean, if I was into fly butt, I'd be into that fly butt right there. So clean that up. Now, next thing we're going to do, and what I like, Big T has taught me this, and that is that we're going to use a couple of different CDC feathers here. So I have a tan, I don't know if you can see that, and then just a gray. And it doesn't matter, but I just want to alternate getting these started. Now this can be a little bit of a challenge because that tip is really soft. And so I'm just going to work that back down to that beautiful little butt that we tied and work that up about halfway, and then I'm going to slap this bad boy on, and then we're just going to start, move that thread out of the way a little, palmering this around. Now everybody says, preen that back, so I'm going to do what everybody else says, but on this fly, I don't think it matters, Mike, because by the second or third time I come around, it just kind of does what it wants to anyway. So, but it makes me look professional when I follow the rules, I guess. What do you think?
I think you're doing a great job.
There we go.
You keep it up.
So we'll just keep working that back, and I'm gonna palm this around. Now it's a real pain in the butt to work around that hook point, but once you get past it, you'll see here it'll really start working back.
I think you got a chance there, Chris.
Yeah. Now listen, this again, I'm not a big caddis guy. I don't tie a lot of caddis. Not because I don't believe in them. I think they're great. I'm talking like elk hair caddis. I use them. I just don't tie them. I'm not very good at it. But for this particular fly, I've gotten where I really like to use these. And I'm just going to put a couple of wraps and tie that in our famous Thornton studio here. And then take my scissors and just kind of open it a little and work it down so I get a nice clean cut. And you can already see how buggy we're getting, right? I mean, that screams bug. So
scary bug.
That's a scary bug. And listen, the secret to this is, and I've used hens and a number of different materials or products to get these to float. And I'll tell you, the best success I've had so far is with Loxa. It works really well, works for a really long period of time. And I'm just going to clean this up as best as I can. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Get my hackle plier on here. And again, we're going to go to town. We're just going to start working this around on top of that brown. But again, I like to color combo these. That way I think your odds increase maybe that you're actually going to catch a fish. And we just keep working this back and forward. Now you can put a hackle collar on this if you want, and I'll tie them that way too, but I'll be honest with you, I've had just as much success without as I have with, and caught that just in time, didn't we? Got it just tied in. As it broke off, I'll just trim that down. Let's see if we can get that out of there. And then now we're gonna work these feathers back and just start building a nice head. And again, I'm gonna work it back just a little bit. You're gonna have some wild hairs that work its way in, and so we'll take our hitch tool here, do a couple wraps maybe, and we're just going to kind of work this back on, and that'll start working some of those feathers back. Again, work that back. Yeah, the vise is not holding that very well, Mike. That's okay. And I'm not used to this vise, so that's my issue. Nobody else's. But you can see now, right? See how that's kind of working back? Just a good, fluffy bug. We'll see if I can get that root just a little more. Yeah, keep building that head up a little bit till I get it to where I like it. Here we go. And then get our whip finish tool. And we're going to throw a couple of 2, 3, 4 hitches into this bad boy. And I'm okay if I get some of those feathers up in there. It doesn't bother me at all, because I'm going to come in here and you see they just kind of clip out. And so there you have it. That's a great little fly. Clean it up. You can put some head cement on it if you want, but that's a lot of action.
Looks good
on that fly.
Beautiful fly.
And I'm telling you, you get that loxa in it, and it'll just sit up on the water. Especially what I found in some of the faster moving streams. What's nice about this is you can actually see it. So most people are using a dropper off the bottom, right? And I do too. But when they do that, it can be real hard. You lose that fly, especially in some the sun's hitting just right or whatever. So what I found is this just sits up all day long, and you don't lose it as much. And again, that color combination, I do black with a BDO, or I'll do olive with gray, but you can do any kind of color combination that you want to, and it just works perfect. And that body, you can see that there's that nice, you want to see that rear end? That's a beauty. And that rear end, I mean, it just keeps it floating all day. So there you have it. That's the New Zealand CDC Caddis. And man, this is my go-to, especially on blue lining. You blue line, you got to have these. Those little fish will just chew it up. All right, so there you have it. Thanks.